The day you come bursting into this world, the fight begins. The fight to be seen and to be heard. The fight for safety. The fight for survival. The fight for justice. Yet, at the very moment the very first light hits your eyes and the cold air hits your skin, your journey to death begins. The battle has begun. The battle for your soul. Sometimes, just being born in a certain place determines your destiny, unless someone cares enough to step in and help you and point you to a better place. Because just like the innocent newborn, we are all helpless without each other. You need people. You need people who care. People who care enough to do something. I can't remember a day in my life where I didn't feel scared, where I didn't feel alone, where I didn't feel like I didn't belong. They say that life is beautiful, and for some, perhaps this is true. But in my world, I didn't see beauty. I saw evil. I saw darkness. It surrounded me since the day I was born. Mama was almost always drunk. Some of my first memories of her were her lying on the floor passed out. My little fist would pound on her back, trying with everything in me to wake her up, trying to get her to notice me, trying to understand this dark world I had been born into. I remember one day, just a little after my 9th birthday, Mama came home telling me she had a gift for me. A pretty dress, much like the ones she always wore. She grabbed my little hand and led me towards the bathroom. There she pulled the red satin dress over my head and turned me around and around. She then took out her favorite red lipstick and began to smear it on my lips as she threw back her head and laughed. Shyly, I looked into the mirror and I took my long, dark hair behind one ear. "Bonita," she said as she walked away. To this day, I think it's the nicest thing she has ever said to me. Yet it was also that same day that changed me forever. I gave up waiting for the happiness, the good, and the love. From that night on, the men will continue to come. Sometimes 6, sometimes 7. First, I will hear the voices. I could barely make out the words, but I knew that they were talking business, talking cost. Yet, no one seemed to ever care what it cost me. I suppose most people don't consider what it costs the object. They just use it until it is all used up. Heavy footsteps coming up the stair will warn me what was about to happen. Closer and closer they will come towards the still dark room where I was kept. The door will then swing open, light bursting through for a moment, blinding my eyes once again. He will enter and will hear the click of the door, and once again the darkness will surround me. Usually it starts with me being shoved, hit, beaten, hair pulled. Occasionally one will be more gentle, yet it was never love. When you are sold, You are owned by the one that pays, even if only for an hour. You lose all dignity. You lose who you are. You become property and item. Items are not created to feel. So I learned to become numb. I learned to no longer scream, no longer cry, no longer feel. It didn't matter anyway. No one ever seemed to care. I remember one day while waiting in my tiny room, I walked over to the window and sat for some time staring out the window. Nearby was a park. I heard children laughing, singing, running. I wanted to run. With everything inside of me, I wanted to run. But where does one run when no one and nothing has ever been safe? But for a moment, I let myself dream. I wonder what it will be like to put my bare feet in the grass. I wonder what it will be like to be free. And then one day the voices at the bottom of the stairs were different. People were screaming and I heard gunshots, then sirens. This time the police reopened the door to my tiny room, and once again the light blinded my eyes. Guns were drawn and pointed at me. I sat there like a stone with my legs crossed Indian style in the middle of my sunk-in bed. I remember feeling nothing. I was good at that by now. So I just sat. I wasn't scared. I just didn't care. I would rather have been dead anyway. They told me to come with them and they escorted me down the dusty wooden stairs and out into the cool night air. I rode in the back of the police truck to the police station. One officer handed me his coat to wrap around my frail body. Curling myself into a ball, I scooted into the corner of the truck. Once in the police station, I sat while call after call was made, asking if anyone would like to take a 15-year-old girl. I tried not to feel anything as once again I was rejected over and over again. I tried to remind myself I was good at no longer feeling pain. Yet the tears slowly trickled down my face. After what felt like hours, a kind woman handed me some bread and told me she had found a home where I would be safe. Again, I found myself in the back of the police truck in the cold night air. As we approached the home, a light was on outside, leading the way to the entrance. I was afraid to go inside. I started to cry and I started to run as I could not longer pretend I wasn't afraid. I didn't know what would happen to me now, but they held my hand and told me I was safe. Their voices were kind and they offered me a warm plate of food. My stomach rumbled. Something seemed different here than I had ever felt before. Today, I sat on the floor gazing up at the Christmas tree lights in Casa Tres. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and lifted my face towards the gold star at the top of the tree. I have learned to dream again here at Village of Hope, Guatemala. I have learned to have hope.